Welcome back to the DAWG Mentality, the podcast dedicated to giving you the framework to win in business, in sports, and in life. I'm your host, Jeffrey Wendel. Last week, we did a deep dive into the D in DAWG, discipline. We talked about how discipline isn't about restriction, it's about freedom. It's the engine that turns your potential into performance. If you haven't listened to that episode, I highly recommend you go back and check it out. Today, we're moving to the second letter in our framework, the A in DAWG. And A stands for attitude. Now, when we hear the word attitude, we often think of just being positive. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about something much more powerful. We're talking about attitude as a strategic choice, a tactical advantage. The one thing you have absolute control over, no matter what's happening around you. It's the difference between being a passenger in your own life and being the driver. It's the ultimate competitive edge. And the power to choose it was proven in the most extreme circumstances imaginable. I want you to think about the name Viktor Frankl. Dr. Frankl was an Austrian psychiatrist who, between 1942 and 1945, survived 4 different Nazi concentration camps, including Auschwitz. His parents, his brother, and his pregnant wife all perished. He was stripped of everything: his family, his home, his possessions, his identity, even his name was replaced by a number. He was subjected to unimaginable brutality and suffering. And yet, from the depths of that horror, he made a discovery that changed our understanding of human potential. In his groundbreaking 1946 book, Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl wrote this, and I want you to really hear these words. Everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Think about that. In the absolute worst conditions humanity has ever devised, Frankl realized that the one thing his captors could not take from him was his power to choose his response. They controlled his environment, but they did not control his inner world. This is the foundation of a powerful attitude. It's the understanding that between what happens to you, the stimulus, and how you react, the response, there is a space. And in that space lies your freedom and your power. Decades later, the author Stephen R. Covey built on this idea in his legendary book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He called it being proactive. Covey explained that we all have a circle of concern, all the things we worry about, the economy, the weather, what other people think. And inside that, we have a smaller circle of influence, the things we can actually do something about. Reactive people focus their energy on the circle of concern. They blame, they complain, they feel like victims. Proactive people, on the other hand, focus their energy on their circle of influence. They take responsibility. They focus on the actions they can take, no matter how small. So let me ask you, think about the last time you were frustrated or angry. Where was your focus? Was it on the things you couldn't control, or the one thing you could, your response, your attitude? Now, choosing a proactive, positive attitude sounds great in theory, but if it were easy, everyone would do it. The reason it's so difficult is because our brains are literally wired against it. Psychologists call it the negativity bias. It's the result of a landmark 2001 paper by Roy Baumeister and his colleagues titled simply, Bad is Stronger Than Good. Their research across a huge range of studies found that our minds react more intensely to negative things than to positive ones. We remember insults more than praise. We dwell on a single criticism more than a dozen compliments. Bad news grabs our attention more than good news. This isn't a character flaw, it's a survival mechanism. For our ancestors, missing a single threat, like a predator in the bushes, was far more dangerous than missing an opportunity, like a berry bush. The brains that were hyper aware of danger were the ones that survived and got passed down to us. But here's the problem. That ancient survival software is still running in our modern world. It makes us default to defensiveness, anxiety, and pessimism. It means that if you do nothing, your brain will naturally drift toward the negative. This is why choosing your attitude is a discipline. It requires conscious, deliberate effort. It's a muscle you have to build every single day. Because if you don't, your brain's default programming will take over. So how do we do it? How do we fight against our own brain's wiring and build a proactive attitude? We need a system, a mental framework for rewiring our response. The most powerful tool for this comes from another giant of psychology, Albert Ellis. It's called the ABCDE model of cognitive restructuring. It's simple, but it's profound. Here's how it works. A is for adversity, or the activating event. This is the thing that happens. You lose a big client. Your star player gets injured. You get stuck in traffic. B is for your beliefs about the event. This is the story you tell yourself. This is a disaster. I'm a failure. This always happens to me. C is for the consequences. This is how you feel and what you do as a result of your beliefs. You feel defeated. You get angry. You give up. Ellis's core insight was this: A does not cause C. The event doesn't cause the consequence. Your beliefs about the event are what cause the consequence. This is where we take back control. We add 2 more steps. D is for disputation. You challenge your irrational beliefs. You argue with yourself. Is it really a disaster? Is there another way to look at this? What evidence do I have that this belief is true? And E is for energization. This is the new effect or outcome you create by changing your beliefs. You feel determined instead of defeated. You look for a solution instead of dwelling on the problem. You take constructive action. Let's make this real. Imagine a salesperson who gets a no from a potential client. That's the adversity, A. A reactive, fixed mindset belief, B, might be, I'm terrible at this. I'll never close a deal. The consequence, C, they feel dejected and stop making calls for the rest of the day. But a proactive DAWG mentality belief would be different. You would dispute, D, that thought. Wait, is it true I'll never close a deal? No. What did I learn from this call? What can I do better next time? The new energization, E, you feel motivated. You review your notes, refine your pitch, and you pick up the phone to make the next call. That is choosing your attitude in action. It's a trainable skill. When you practice this consistently, something amazing happens. You don't just handle adversity better, you actually start to build a psychological advantage. This is what researcher Barbara Fredrickson at the University of North Carolina calls the broaden and build theory. Her work shows that while negative emotions narrow our focus to a fight or flight response, positive emotions like optimism, curiosity, and determination do the opposite. They broaden our minds. They open us up to new ideas, new solutions, and new possibilities. We become more creative, more resilient, and more resourceful. Fredrickson even proved something called the undoing effect. She found that positive emotions can literally undo the physical stress caused by negative emotions, helping your heart rate and blood pressure return to normal faster. Think about that. A proactive attitude isn't just a nice to have, it's a genuine performance enhancer. It makes you smarter, more creative, and physically healthier in the face of pressure. This is why, in a landmark study at MetLife, psychologist Martin Seligman found that salespeople who had an optimistic explanatory style, the habit of interpreting events in a positive, proactive way, outsold their pessimistic colleagues by 37% over 2 years. 37%! That's the tangible, bottom line value of a winning attitude. let's bring it all together. Attitude isn't a mood, it's a choice. It's the freedom Viktor Frankl found in the darkest of places. It's a discipline because our brains are hardwired with a negativity bias that we must consciously overcome. And it's a strategic advantage because a proactive attitude broadens our thinking, builds our resilience, and directly improves our performance. This week, I challenge you to become an observer of your own thoughts. When you face a setback, no matter how small, run it through the ABCDE model. Identify the event, catch your belief, and consciously dispute it to create a better outcome. Practice focusing on your circle of influence. Ask yourself, what is the one thing I can control right now? The answer will always be your attitude. That's your mission for this week, because when you master your attitude, you unlock a superpower that no one can ever take away from you. Next week, we're tackling the third pillar of the DAWG mentality, the W for will. We'll explore the science of grit and what it truly takes to persevere when things get tough. You won't want to miss it.